have now been taking Elvance, my ADHD medication, for 7 days now, so I thought I would do a little update. It's not been going amazing, I'll be totally honest with you. There have been a lot of side effects and I was kind of hoping that they would have teetered off by now, but they are still hanging around. The main side effects I've been experiencing are a very fast heartbeat, and that's happening like not constantly, sort of little like spurts throughout the day. My heart rate will just be like really, really fast. I feel very anxious and very on edge a lot, which makes sense because of the stimulant, because of what it does like physically to the body, and the heart rate is like sped up. So I wonder if that is like psychologically my body is thinking I'm anxious, but actually it's just physical sensations. But I am feeling very much like on edge, just not feeling like myself. Because I'm also autistic, I don't have the best interoception, which basically means like internal cues and stuff. So not knowing what it is I'm feeling, like not necessarily being able to name my emotions, is something I struggle with, but it is something that I feel being on these ADHD meds has heightened that. So I'll be feeling off usually like as it gets into the afternoon, and I'm like, oh, am I sad? Am I anxious? Am I tired? I can't really put my finger on what it is. And something else that is, I think from what I've heard, common for people that are autistic and ADHD and try ADHD medication, is that it kind of becomes more difficult to mask your autistic traits, which is something that I obviously must do a lot because I feel very different in how I am presenting. The way that I kind of explain having ADHD and autism, it's kind of like this internal battle, and some days the ADHD is winning, some days the autism is winning. But what I do find is that a lot of my ADHD traits kind of like cancel out my autistic traits. So what I mean by that is the way that my ADHD shows up in that I'm generally quite chatty and bubbly and can be quite hyperactive. That kind of masks the fact that I struggle like socially with communication or social cues, that kind of aspect of autism. I think as well the ADHD like bubbly happy-go-lucky side of me is also masking the sort of what I describe personally, or what is my experience, is the more like serious, somber, chilled out autistic version of me. So I feel as though since I've been on these ADHD meds, because it is meant to help manage those ADHD traits, it's sort of bringing the ADHD down, and then that is exposing like my autistic traits a little bit more. So I don't think it's necessarily that it's making those autistic traits worse, for lack of a better word. It's just I'm not masking them, or I don't have the ability to mask them as much because those ADHD traits are, I guess, being managed. And it's not like a super fun time, to be totally honest. I think day one, like I said in that first vlog, I had a shutdown, and I do feel like a lot of the days since I've been on the verge of a shutdown, particularly in the afternoon. So I think these ADHD meds are causing me to be more sensitive to external stimulus and sensory things, and that is contributing to becoming more like oversaturated and overstimulated and overloaded with sensory input, which is probably causing me being on the verge of those shutdowns. I've also been feeling like very tired. I have a chronic illness, which chronic fatigue is part of, so it's very hard to kind of distinguish which is which, but I do feel as though I'm getting to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which I do also usually have a bit of a slump in the afternoon, but I'm getting to 3 p.m. and I'm like, I could literally just go to bed right now. And I think that is possibly quite common for people with ADHD that take stimulant medication, because basically with someone that has ADHD, when you give them a stimulant, it has the opposite effect. So it kind of like calms them down, whereas if you gave someone that doesn't have ADHD a stimulant, it obviously makes them more hyperactive. It has been making my tics worse. So this is something that I don't always feel super comfortable talking about online, and I haven't spoken about it here on YouTube at all, so please be kind. So I'm currently awaiting appointment with neurology for a Tourette's diagnosis. I have had physical and vocal tics since I was quite young, and it was something that I was very embarrassed about. I got picked on in school because of it, and it's something that until the last couple of years I just haven't spoken about and pretend it doesn't exist, because I find it so uncomfortable and it really embarrasses me, because I think probably where I was picked on in school, it just makes me really self-conscious. And I feel as though ADHD medication is making my tics worse, which did happen the first time, but it kind of leveled out and then it wasn't so bad. So I'm hoping that is the case again, because it's really honestly quite exhausting ticking so intensely all the time. You won't see a lot of my tics in my videos because I try to edit them out, because otherwise it takes up a lot of time. I feel kind of uncomfortable showcasing that, but you probably will spot some of them, and maybe more so now that I've told you about it. So yeah, there's quite a few things that are not ideal in terms of being on this medication. I think it is helping slightly with being able to initiate tasks and then see those tasks through and complete them before moving on to something else. So that is the big reason that I wanted to restart this medication, because I'm currently studying for a degree in English literature and creative writing. So I feel like this will help me with my studying for that, because I'm doing it part-time every 6 years. This is my 4th year of doing it. The 2nd year I was medicated, the 3rd year I was not because of the medication shortage, and then this year I've been medicated for it again. I'm hoping that will help in terms of studying and being able to focus on studying. But honestly, other than that, I can't say that I'm noticing a load of other benefits. But yeah, the main thing that I was wanting to start it for was to be able to initiate tasks and complete tasks to help with my study, basically just to help with my executive functioning, which I do think it is doing. But currently my thoughts are, I don't know if that single benefit is outweighing all of the other side effects that I'm experiencing. I have a follow-up with my ADHD doctor in I think like a week's time or something, so by then I'll be 2 weeks on the medication. Hopefully some of those side effects will have trailed off and I'll be feeling better in myself, more myself, but I don't know, I may not be. So that is a very quick update, although probably not very quick, but I said I'll keep you updated, so that's the update.